Hello, my name is Preeti, and in this module, we are going to learn all about stop motion. So when I think of stop motion, the first thing that comes to mind is animation. My kids love watching animated films, and they fall in love with all of the characters. From my perspective, it's amazing to think how all these minor animated movements come together to tell an entire story. It is truly mind-blowing that it can take hundreds of photos to make an object move across the screen. Stop motion is an animation technique that uses still images, different frame rates and variations in the movements of images to create different visual effects. It combines the techniques of making a live action movie with animation movement sequences. By playing a series of photos as a fast sequence, we can create the illusion of movement. Stop motion can be used in many different mediums, such as claymation, stick figure animation, drawing animation, human animation, and so on. Let's take a look at it in action. Right now, you can see a hat moving around a person. This video was actually not filmed using the video function on a camera because it's impossible for an inanimate object to move on its own. We created this using stop motion, and you can see that we made small changes to the hat's position in every photo, so it created the illusion of moving around the person. When we play it all together, it looks like the hat has a mind of its own. When thinking about stop motion for characters, it is important to think about every angle in their bodies. If we want to make an animated stick figure jump, we don't just move their feet and body upwards. It requires a lot more attention to detail. In this example, we are using a software called Pivot to show you the details required to make an animated stick figure move. You can see that we focus on how they bend their knees and waist and how they throw their arms in the air. By combining all of these minor movements together, we can make an animated stick figure look like it is jumping. Now, we can also think about stop motion in the terms of speed. The illusion of speed depends on how we take our photos. In this stop motion video, it looks like this coin is teleporting across the table. You can see that we move the coin a lot between each photo. By having a big gap between each photo, it created the illusion of teleporting. Now let's check out another video of a coin moving on a table. You can see that it looks like the coin is slowly gliding across the table. You can see that we move the coin a little bit each time compared to the first example. By having a small gap between each photo, we created this smooth illusion of speed. Videos actually work the same way as photos. When we take a film on our phone or camera, the video function is actually taking multiple photos, and when we play them together, it shows motion. The frame rate of a video actually determines how many photos we take in a second. So if we have a frame rate of 30 frames per second, then it means our camera is actually taking 30 photos per second. If we have a frame rate of 60 frames per second, then it takes 60 photos per second. Higher frame rates will lead to better quality videos because it has a lot more photos to capture the progression of motion. So most movies are filmed at 24 frames per second. The animations you see in places like Instagram and Facebook only use 10 to 15 frames per second. And in fact, just 2 frames per second is enough for in-class activities. So now, I hope you're starting to feel more comfortable with stop motion. It helps us create illusions by taking numerous still images, using different frames per second, and having different variations in the movements of objects. When we combine all of the photos together, our inanimate objects come to life. I can talk about stop motion all day, but the best way to learn about it is by trying it out yourself.